Well, Dragon Folk, it is August 22nd of 2024, and to the wonderful surprise of me going on Twitter earlier today, I now have seen that the Japanese market is about to get a whole ton of awesome Flesh and Blood reprints, including none other than Command and Conquer. Let's go ahead and talk about what this is and how exactly the Japanese players are going to be getting this product as it arrives on the open market. Welcome on in, Dragon Folk. It is a pleasure to have you all here today. We are talking about none other than the official bunch of reprints of legendaries and majestics. We're talking what most consider the Power 3, or even big, powerful legendaries that have only seen printings only in like crew and stuff like that. We're talking about some big releases that are happening for the Japanese market for Flesh and Blood. And I don't normally make like a video. I don't normally like jump onto this and I go, I have to make this video immediately and I have to talk about this. But this is something that is going to be misconstrued. And it is also going to be incredibly, it's going to be an incredibly weird topic to talk about, because a lot of people are going to look at this and go, that's awesome. But a lot of people are also going to look at this and go, why not us? Right? And we're going to talk about that. So first and foremost, if you want to check out any of these articles for yourself, go ahead and go on Google Chrome. If you go to the product releases page of Flesh and Blood's main website, fabtcg, you can scroll down here to upcoming and you can find these here. They are more specifically these archive packs. There are two little lists here that say stuff for archive pack. Now that is a new product that they are releasing to the Japanese market, and we're going to go over what they are. Both of these articles are in Japanese, so if you do have a way to translate them, like I do, then you can go ahead and translate that. The translations are not going to be completely accurate, but they give you a good idea about what exactly is happening here. So, with this, first, we have a Part the Mistveil archive pack. And what this is as according to the article here, it says each archive pack contains 5 Japanese cards, 4 commons, and 1 rare, majestic, or legendary card. It includes important reprints and competitive staples that support the latest booster set and enhance the collections of Japanese players. Part the Mistveil archive pack reprints important assassin, illusionist, and ninja cards to support the 3 heroes from Part the Mistveil, as well as cards for older heroes from those classes such as Katsu. It also includes powerful support cards for Uzuri the Shifting Blade, her Japanese translation to not be Switchblade, pretty cool, and a number of general purpose tournament strong cards that every player should have. So, this is a let's get the Japanese market caught up with collectibles in their language, and this is how they're going to be doing it with these archive packs. So looks like you've got a little, little thing here, small little box, and we're going to go over. It looks like, I'm not sure what these ratios are, but we're going to go over the overview here. Release date is October 11th, 2024. So this year they're going to be releasing. But they're only going to be releasing, from what I can tell, only going to be releasing in the Japanese market. These are for Japanese players. They're going to be put into the Japanese market. They're not going to be sent to places like Europe and America. It's going to be for the Japanese markets. So these are special booster packs that are meant to help with the inflated prices of cards here from the States and allow for these cards to be accessible over there. Now, several things, right? Let's just finish the article first here for the Hidden Mist archive pack, or the Part the Mistveil archive pack. The archive pack is designed to improve the availability of cards for constructed formats not designed for playing in booster draft or sealed decks. Supported language is just Japanese, so it's just Japanese cards only. You got number of included cards is 130. So 130 cards in the set total. And the suggested retail price per box is about 1,320 or 13,200 yen, which equates to be about $90 USD for the UPP price here. These are the barcodes for the packs and boxes. And more importantly here, we see a little bit of a breakdown. So 130 cards, I'm assuming is like 130 cards in the set, 5 pieces per pack. So each pack is only going to have 5 cards in it. And then one box contains 24 packs. So 24 packs at 5 cards a piece. That is looking to be what? 120 cards total for the whole shebang. So about 120 cards in a box. And one carton contains 8 boxes. So I'm assuming by carton, they mean a case. So a case will contain 8 boxes of this product and not 4 like it normally would. And then the set configuration is there are 6 legendaries in here, 35 majestics, 35 rares, and 54 commons. And the inclusion rate is you get in one pack, you get 4 commons, and then 1 card that is at rare, rarity, or higher. So your rate of pulling anything up here, super freaking high. And then of course you have your commons. So at most in each box, you are due to get 24 rares, commons, or rares, legendaries, or majestics in a combination of however many. The card inclusion rate is an approximate average for the entire production run. There is no guarantee that any particular card, rarity, or type of card will appear in any pack, box, or carton. Due to variances in the manufacturing process, the inclusion rate of cards in packs may vary from the rate stated above. So, again, this is mainly just going to be cards that are put in here as a way for the Japanese market to kind of catch up. And when we look at the product sheet, we get to see what cards are getting reprinted, at least some of them. And if you can't see this, right, I'll go ahead and blow this up for you here. That is Codex of Frailty getting a reprint, along with Final Spring Tunic getting a reprint. So now there's going to be a Japanese language Final Spring Tunic. I am assuming, and only because I have not seen anything in regards to this, all of these cards are going to be non-foil because they have to be according to Flesh and Blood's reprint policy. These are all going to be non-foil cards. So think of this a lot like the history packs, where they distributed history packs to the different places of the world, but in their native languages. These are like history packs, but specific for the heroes that are included in these sets. So for instance, Part the Mistveil is going to have a lot of commons, rares, majestics, and legendaries that have to deal with being a ninja, being an illusionist, or being a assassin. And we see that with things like Tiger Stripe Shuko getting a reprint here, Codex of Frailty getting a reprint. Final Spring Tunic is a generic that you run in like almost nearly all these decks besides Zen, and that's a nice generic reprint that we see in there. So it's a great way to get these localized to their languages. Very cool. But it's not the only one that was announced. We actually also have a Rosetta archive pack. Now, Rosetta has not been released yet, so, that is entirely soon to happen. But this also contains important reprints for the heroes that you can find in Rosetta. Rosetta Archive Pack reprints important cards from the Mage and Rune Knight class. Let's just be first and foremost, I would much rather be called a Rune Knight than a Rune Blade. Both are sick. Rune Knight's pretty cool. To support the 4 heroes in Rosetta, it also reprints cards for older heroes of these 2 classes, such as Kano. They spelled, the Kano translation here is pretty cool. The included cards include Earth and Lightning cards as support to make deck building and playing easier for elemental heroes. It also includes many powerful general purpose cards and cards to face off against arcane classes in tournaments. So again, same concept here. 5 cards in a pack. 1 box has 24 packs. 1 carton has 8 boxes. Same spread, essentially, of rares, majestics, and legendaries and commons. And the only difference is that you're going to see a different set of cards. So with this different set of cards, you're expected to see things that are going to help out the heroes in Rosetta. But something you see here, I don't know if you can see it, that's a Command and Conquer. That is a Command and Conquer, a Storm Striders, and a Grasp of the Arknight. That's 2 legendaries from older sets, from Arcane Rising, and then also another Arcane Rising reprint in Command and Conquer. Now, this is where we're going to get into talking a little bit about this, because these are packs that are specifically meant to be for getting people into the game, right? Getting them set up into it so that they don't have to go and try to find old product that is going to be impossible for them to ship over to Japan and then have it be in a language that is not native to their own. But what I don't want everyone to freak out about is that a lot of the people here in the States are probably going to go, that's great, I need to get my hands on these. And if you can get your hands on them, I mean, obviously Osaka is coming up, so a lot of people are going to be coming in from all around the world, and they're going to be there in Japan to pick up stuff like this. This is a product that is going to help Japanese players kind of play catch up. And we here in the States, there's a lot of people who end up getting into TCGs or getting into stuff, and when they see other people get things that we don't immediately get access to, there is going to be some sort of feels bad, because we seem to want to have we want to have it all, essentially, and we can't deal with not having something that is as special as this. So while these will exist, one, I don't know what their print runs are going to look like. We're not sure what the print runs are going to look like, and again, these are going to be non-foil reprints of these cards. So if those of you who are looking to make your deck really shiny, you're probably not going to care about this. But on the same side, you have a bunch of people who are now making their deck, especially their Zen, their New, and their Enigma decks, all being used with the Japanese cards that they got from Japanese boxes of Part the Mistveil. Now, we are going to be able to find Rosetta in Japanese, naturally, and then also get a whole bunch of Japanese cards from previous sets as reprints here. And that's really cool, because personally, I would kill for 3 copies of a Japanese Command and Conquer, but that's just because I know what they are, and I would love to also be a little bit more fluent in Japanese. So having a Japanese deck to explain to somebody would be really, really cool. But seeing all these reprints happen, this is really, really good for the Japanese market, because instead of LSS having to create a history pack product and then have it get sent out to every language that they're trying to do, I know it was done in a prior interview with James White, where he said it was a mistake that they tried to take on 4 new languages at the same time, and they should have just done one at a time and introduced it. This is a really good example of that, because you're able to provide key cards for tournament play, for high-end tournament play, to the community without having to worry about, pushing it out to everybody and then just kind of making that a big deal. But these are going to be really, really, really sought after, I would imagine. I don't know. We don't know the full card list. Obviously, we just see these, the little cards that we end up seeing in the product sheets. So very cool to at least see that these are cards being chosen for the reprints. But I really hope that enough of this is printed for the Japanese market, because I know a lot of people all around the world who love Japanese printed cards are going to want to get these, especially since now we have more Command and Conquers on the market, more Spring Tunics, more. I'm sure you're going to probably end up seeing something along the lines of an E-Strike being printed, and you're going to see a lot of that happen. So it's really, really cool to see that this is entering the Japanese market, but I don't want people to freak out and go, yeah, we're getting that Command and Conquer reprint, sweet, sell off all the things you have now. The game is still incredibly collectible, and more importantly, Flesh and Blood can show specifically, right? LSS can show in this very moment that they do actually care about making sure that their competitive cards are readily accessible for communities that need it. And so this is a situation in which, like, you know, they'd probably have to spend a ton of money to get that shipped over and taken care of overseas. And it probably would not be worth anybody's time to buy something like a Command and Conquer from here in the States, or even a German Command and Conquer from, you know, from Germany. You know, you're better off finding the English version, and the English version sells for significantly more than the German version. But this is where I believe we're going to see a lot of change. Obviously, we're going to see more and more Japanese players get access to these cards, and that's going to be really, really good for their market. And it's going to be good for the players overall, because the players are going to have cards that they're going to be able to actually play with and compete in their armories with. And that's, you know, it's a big win. But the real question is here is, are we going to be seeing this exact same thing here in the States? I don't think so. I would be very surprised if these were printed in English in the States, or printed in a native language, wherever that might be around the world. I believe this is strictly for a Japanese market, and I believe that this is what is going to be happening with this. They probably won't need to do it for maybe the next set. Again, this is kind of like an ancillary, you know, play catch up kind of pack. But it is a very interesting thing. It's very, very cool to see all of this stuff available here. All the access to new things. You get 130 cards in here, so it's incredibly easy to collect if you're trying to collect something like this. And the Japanese cards just look really, really good. So that's awesome. But at the end of the day, just know that this is a really, really good win for, also, let's just be honest, this is probably going to be the gem that's going to come in the Rosetta set. I'm going to take full stop that that's a fabled, but yeah, I think this is just going to be really, really good for the Japanese market. And overall, you know, more copies, whether they be from different languages, are still good for the market, because it will bring down the prices of other things as more enter. But that still means that we are left with the dilemma that I'm going to again respond to everybody with, and that's, it doesn't matter whether or not Flesh and Blood and people at LSS reprint a card. What matters is that people open up the product that that card is located in, and then sell singles on the open market. Because if that doesn't happen, then there are no CNCs that enter the open market. And if there are no CNCs that open this in the secondary market, we can't get them. So don't freak out, right? You're probably not going to see the price of Command and Conquer drop much. If I were to guess, it would drop a lot of these, probably. A lot of these staple cards will probably drop strictly because they want to spend the money to get rid of the copy they have to get a Japanese language print of one. But everybody's different. Most people like the shinier things or the rarer things, but to see these in Japanese are really, really cool. And I hope to see more stuff like this. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your support. Thank you for chit-chatting with me while we go through this new product that they just dropped out of the blue. They didn't even announce this at their keynote speech in PT Amsterdam. This is just like special cool stuff. So love to see that. And we'll have more to talk about on the channel very, very soon. But just continue to have a great time in playing Flesh and Blood. And remember to always have fun. That's what it's about. Make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And then leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this product. Let me know whether or not this is something that you are going to probably try to pick up for yourself. Is it worth $90 to you to get something like this? Because it's probably going to be a lot more, especially if you're outside of Japan. Let me know. I'd be curious to hear from you. But thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate your support. I'll see you all in our next video.